Hello, chaotic tubers, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy 1 Dawn of Souls with me, BlueAnkylo. Today is probably our final episode of the mod of balance for this game. So we're all prepped up. We have successfully defeated the last of the bonus dungeon bosses. We did that last episode. There is Death Gaze. So unfortunately he was susceptible to being paralyzed and didn't put up much of a fight, sadly. And basically, once we got to about Atmos tier on the second round and Shinru, like, Omega put up a good fight, but then I realized that we could just paralyze these guys, and things started to get a bit easier. So, even though he has a ridiculously high evasion, you don't get much evasion when you're paralyzed and blind, which is kind of funny. So, anyway, that's how it worked. I know in the original NES game, enemies that were undead were basically completely immune to statuses. So it's kind of funny that we can get away with that in the mod. But anyway, that's just how it is. So for today's episode, we're going to head on down and see if we can kill Chaos. We've already gone through most of this. We've got the Mazmune and all that. But, you know, maybe something will surprise us on the way down. I don't know. I'll probably take most of the random encounters just on super speed, because for the most part, it shouldn't take very long. And it would probably take longer to run away. Maybe. Also, you get to see Victus do like 2,000 damage every now and then. Man, that Ragnarok is good. That is some good stuff there, boys. I seem to remember the Vampire Lords used to cause me a bit of grief. Yeah, they got a lot of annoying magic. They get into, like, Scourge and Earthquake and stuff if you don't kill them quickly enough. So it might be smart to not be super lazy fighting those guys. You know, like I'm being super lazy right now, but, yeah. What could possibly go wrong? Ambushed by wizard zombies and just killed. The good news is a lot of these enemies are, in fact, weak to Dia, and Diaga is, like, really good in this game. Like, this is something normally your white mage slash wizard type would have to deal with. And it's, like, actually a good reason to bring a white wizard along, because Diaga, like, if you only had a black wizard, you'd actually miss out on some weakness, like, taking advantage of some enemies' weaknesses. You know, the black mages are traditionally masters of elemental damage and taking advantage of enemies' weak points. Well, sometimes you actually need some white magic to do that. So, you know, the Sage is pretty good in terms of he can learn all that stuff. It's pretty fun. Also, I mean, normally the Dia spells never work on elementals, or just very much at all. It's just undead only. So the reason it works on everything is because of the mod, of course. These are pretty tough encounters, I have to say. The air elementals that all get AoE magic ability type things that can, even at our levels, still deal pretty good damage to the whole party. Like, these are no Snake Orochi whatevers from the bonus dungeons, but in large packs on an ambush, I think they could still kill us if they all did the right move. Like, if you had an ambush with like 8 or 9 air elementals, they all used Tornado, and it all did 800, or if it did like 100 damage to everybody every time, they would wipe the party with like, it would be kind of sad. Now, I don't think that's very possible. Like, well, technically possible, but very improbable. So, you probably don't need to worry about that, but I'm just saying that, like, if it happens, prepare for a rage. Salt Ankylo will come out of his shell. Earth Medusas, sorry girls, you're just not strong enough for this party. Actually, strong enough that Fire 2 doesn't kill them there at the end of the game. That's kind of unusual. Usually, an unbuffed Fire 2 will kill a pack of Earth Medusas in, like, the original game, so. Kind of interesting that we'd have Melior here with almost 80 intelligence and still kind of struggle for an easy enemy at low. I mean, maybe, I think they're weak to fire, though, so I don't think Ice will do any better. Maybe it did, I don't know. What did they drop? Something... They dropped some Bard Tunic? Perfect. What do you think we can just autopilot through the Lich? We autopiloted right through the Lich. Hey, he dropped another Crystal Ring. I don't think I've ever actually equipped that on anybody. It's good. It's just, in fact, it's probably better on Melior stat-wise if you don't want regeneration. I guess no one else... No, Jade can equip it. Yeah, that's the weird part. Beret can equip all the other crystal equipment except crystal rings. Strange. I guess they've made it kind of a... Sort of a... The crystal ring is sort of a mage equipment, even though the rest of the set is all fighter equipment. Yeah, we're at the point where magic is not very useful on random encounters, just because we deal so much damage that we're finally one-shotting enemies pretty reliably with most of the party. Except for Melior, who'll never do that, but... Yeah, when you can just, you know, sort of waltz right through them like that. It's the right time to play the victory music, right? Alright, let's super burn through Marilith. She still did not have enough defense. To be fair, I would expect the optional bonus bosses would be more difficult than your average random, or even the revisited Fiends down here, right? Like, if you can survive the bonus dungeons, this stuff is probably easier overall. Although, I don't know how strong Chaos is per se. Like, he might be approximately Death Gazed here. The question will be, really, of course, is he immune to being stunned? And if the answer to that is nope, then, well, I have bad news for Chaos. He may have some of the most damaging offensive spells in the game. In fact, he may have all of them. He probably has Nuke and Cure 4, or whatever they call it now. But it probably won't matter if we can just stun lock him, so... That's maybe what we'll do, just for fun, just to cap off this adventure. I was kind of hoping that Melior would get... Wasn't he almost at 80? What did I do? I switched his weapon up, accidentally. When did I do that? Anyway, he's supposed to have 80 intelligence. Perfect. That's probably another multiplier for something. So the Kraken can sometimes physically hit really hard. That wasn't too impressive. I guess what I should have just done was started with the stun. For anyone that can survive a round with us, just stun them. You know, if we can stun Death Gaze and all the other super bosses, what's stopping us from stunning, like, normal Fiends? Also, I do like how much damage Flare is doing these days. That's pretty satisfying. This has been a very fun stomp. Worked so hard to get through those bonus dungeons, now we're just having a nice time. So Tiamat, who is classically susceptible to some one-shot death spells, looks like Beret does not have poison protection, sadly. Oh look! Stunned first shot again, just like everybody else. Bye-bye, Tiamat. Keeping in mind that I still have never explicitly gone on Mind plus Melior, or Mind plus Sage into intellect buffing. I'm pretty sure on my test run with a pure Black Wizard, whatever they're called, I actually hit 100 intelligence. I'm pretty sure I have more, like, end game, like 20 more intelligence, and I just never used stun because that sounded weird. So you could get another 20-some% effectiveness out of your status effects, whatever percent that works out to be, but you could buff them up even more to make the infliction rate, well, whatever it would be. I don't know. This is really awkward, like having random encounters with super fights in the final room of the dungeon. Like, this is throwing me off a lot. These guys aren't supposed to get really powerful encounters on this floor. Who authorized that Chaos was allowed to have an extra rung of bodyguards after you fight Tiamat and get out of her floor? Alright, so, first thing, we might want a lot of ether, you never know. Everybody likes ether. Dangerously close to 1008 MP. Alright, everyone's healed up. Save. Didn't quite get to level 60, but that's fine. I don't think we ever really level grinded enough that I would say we're over leveled. So let's do this. Let's fight Chaos. Alright, so what do we do about Chaos? First things first, we stun him and then we kill him instantly. I mean, probably. It's probably what we should do. Where's that? I lost track of some of my items. Oh, you know, I could play Chaos's music, seeing as I specifically put Final Fantasy 1 as the soundtrack for today's episode so that I could play his music. Let's not forget. Alright, well, he's gonna have fire magic and ice magic and stuff. Let's get some of these up. But more importantly, let's see if we can just stun him. 500 damage. He still hits hard. That's good. And first attempt. Misses! Oh, he's overpowered. Someone call the cops. This guy's he's resisting paralyze. He's resisting arrest. Oh no. Get our other protections up. Well, we'll try one more time, and if this costs Melior his life, then it's my lesson in Stunlock. Well, he might die here anyway. Well, we got Null Blaze, right? We got Null Blaze. 100 damage. Well, GG, everybody. Looks like the final boss is no joke. Because he was my... I should have just healed. No, he didn't get a turn, so I couldn't have healed anyway. That's fun. Alright, that's everything except Null Frost, except that Melior doesn't get any of that because he's dead. So maybe we should just try to do more of that. Blizzaga, of course, right after I resurrect him. Well, we might be beaten here. Nobody else can really heal significantly. I say that. I'm such a liar. I have 5 Mega Elixirs. You're going to try to stop him again. You're going to use a Mega Elixir. Too good to use! Too good to use! Alright, everyone's fine. Unless the Tsunami does 1,000 damage. Pretty cool looking spell. Did it do 1,000 damage to Beret? Poor Beret! Didn't even have a chance. Cut down in his prime. Alright, this is getting to the point where I'm starting to get a little bit concerned. I don't have enough Mega Elixirs to do that constantly. Oh good, now he's hasted. Yay. I keep getting the worst turn order of always going in the wrong order. Well, I feel like... I guess on the plus side, I'm put into a position where I sort of need to increase some character's HP a little bit because he's doing too much damage, and it's gonna put a bit of a crimp in my style. Now, I've only tried stunning him once. I tried stop a couple times and it failed, but wow, 853 damage physical. He's a boss. He's the final boss, guys. You can tell he's the final boss because we had his music on for a couple minutes. Alright, well, I wish I had somebody else that could heal while Beret tried to do stuns. That's what I wish. I think we could get him stun locked again. Unless he is truly immune to all magic, but I don't see how that would be possible. Cyclone. I'm just gonna speed through this a little bit. 700 damage to Victus. That's not very nice, is it? See, that's kind of the problem, is we're stuck trying to get enough... I mean, once we get enough Giant's Tonics up, then we won't have the problem with taking too much damage in one hit. But, I'm not getting a lot of buffs or offense on here, obviously. We're sort of in a cycle of healing right now because he does too much damage, because he's a darn dirty cheater. If he can do that much damage to Victus, he can do that much damage to anybody. I really need to make sure that basically we have to keep Melior alive. If he goes down, it's going to be pretty brutal. Good. We didn't die to Earthquake. That's a good start. Now, he He typically has a Cure 4 full HP heal in his rotation. It just usually takes a while to get there. It's also often not worth doing much damage to him until that point, because whatever damage you do just gets wiped away by the full heal. So what do you think? Should we just go for like 2,000 HP and then switch over to buffing and debuffing and statuses? Like, I feel like that's still what I'm gonna do. It's the final boss. You guys can watch me fight the final boss for a few minutes, right? This is the last episode of the series. The final challenge of Mod of Balance. You know, I also would have been smart, I guess. Well, there's a lot of buffs that I could have got up if people would stop dying, and I just never really got a chance to do all that properly. I'll do the Giant's Tonics first, although I think we might be strong enough now that it would be worth doing the elemental protections, basically. But those get erased if you die, so you need enough HP to not die first, in my opinion. And he still is hitting very, very hard. I think we'll try an X potion rather than a Heliga there. Yeah. Basically, that's going to be enough. I'm going to try another stun. I'm going to risk it. It might cost Beret his life. No, it wouldn't have mattered. He didn't get a turn. Nobody got a turn. I didn't get the stun off anyway. See, that's yeah, this is kind of brutal. Yep, we got problems, guys. This boss is kicking my butt. His hasted form does so much damage. Even with our current HP totals, which are ridiculous, he's still one-shotting us. We need to get out of one-shot territory. And I know some buffs could do it, but you lose your buffs when you die. Oh, there's his Curaja. So that's a... Actually, that's way weaker than typical. If he only has Curaja, that actually makes him a lot easier, because Curaja no longer does full health the way Vivify does, I believe it's renamed. Alright, let's start thinking about survival here. Couple blinks. Should just reduce the total number of hits a bit for those two. We're fully healed up. Alright, let's do this. Let's get smart. We've got lots of life. We're gonna go White Robe. We're gonna go Null Shock. Null Blaze. We'll do the other two, Null Frost and Null Magic next time. You're gonna go with another Protect Robe. Protect Protera. Of course, he tempers himself to basically cancel our buff immediately. Oh, you know, there's something I could try. I could try Xfer on him. That might remove his buffs, maybe. I don't know how it works. I don't know how this works in this game. Xfer is supposed to remove your elemental protection or resistance, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, we're going to do at least another round of that. So Null Frost and Anti-Magic and another set of Proteras. This is 4 Proteras. And all the elemental protections that we can cast. And we want to stay alive. But now we want to put on a couple evasions as well. A couple vanishes. And Melior... Well, I did give him Dispel. Let's see if we can even connect with him. I regret not casting Heliga immediately. It did not hit. See, that's the thing. Nothing ever seems to hit when you want it to hit. Alright, so we've got 4 Proteras. That's pretty good. We got 2 Vanishes, so 2 more Vanishes. And Victus... You know what? You can do 1 more White Robe. 1 more round of defenses, and then we'll start thinking about more offensive stuff. We really shouldn't be playing happy music. This is better. Alright, I mean, Every now and then I feel like it's worth trying, but so far we've had a 0% hit rate for status effects. So maybe we finally run into an enemy that's just straight up immune to everything. It's probably fair, but it's pretty brutal. It's the first time I got overconfident there. Alright, let's start buffing people up, namely Victus. While we're healthy, I'll try throwing in a couple more somethings. I just need something to hit, and then we'd be laughing all the way to the bank. Still no luck with stun. We'll do one more round of offensive buffing on Victus, and then he'll start attacking, I think. Maybe you just have to take Chaos down with damage. I'll put an extra blink on Melior. He's more fragile than the rest. Alright. Get another attack in. Let's start thinking... I just want to see... Just curious. I'm allowed to be a curious guy. It's time for a little bit of healing. Yeah, definitely a good time to heal after a tsunami, because there's no defending against that. Still does like 600 damage easily, so... 3,700 damage, not bad. So Beret is going to start turning into secondary attacker. And Melior is just going to keep people topped up, because dying would suck right now to lose all of our buffs. That was Comet, I think. I barely noticed, but... Barely registered, but... Alright. I guess I might as well try a Zeal, because we've got a couple attackers now ready to go. Victus is doing a lot of damage, though, unless this guy's got a lot more HP than I give him credit for. He shouldn't last too long. Let's try a couple offensive... Like, we can do 1,000 damage guaranteed. Maybe Flare works, who knows. We haven't had very good luck with statuses on this guy. He might... I don't know if he's completely 100% immune or not, but he seems to be past the level. Okay. Just pure damage did the job. That's fine. That's how you normally kill Chaos. Looks like all the bonus bosses don't have enough magic resistance or whatever Chaos has. Well, there you go, guys. That was the final battle. Final Fantasy 1. Mod balance. Pretty awesome mod. Ending theme. Go. Everyone's happy. The crystals were restored. The time loop was ended. Nobody ever remembered the 4 heroes because of timey-wimey shenanigans. Stuff with the people. This is why we can play this game so many times. It's always a time loop. It's always the same thing repeated over and over again. It's a really long... I mean, they added a lot of story for this Dawn of Soul version. Alright, we're gonna zip through all this just so I can save and I can check Chaos' stats. I want to see why he was immune to Paralyze. So, final wrap-up type stuff for Mod of Balance. Thumbs up from this Ankylo. If you're a fan of Final Fantasy 1, give it a shot. If you're not a fan of Final Fantasy 1, then, you know, whatever. So I just want to load this. I have to make new party quick. Doesn't really matter. We're not playing it. I just have to load this up so I can see. Actually, I don't have to do that. What am I doing? Just reset the game. It's fine. I can go to the bestiary and load from that save file. So, Chaos. In the mod, has 250 magic defense, resistances to everything except Dia. So you could actually get bonus damage with Diaga. That's cool. So I assume then some combination of status resistance plus 250 magic resistance is what kept him safe? I don't know. There were certainly lots of enemies with not much lower magic defense, but I guess you need those resistances. But keeping in mind that when we fought... past them. When we fought these guys, you know, 15 less magic resistance, But I guess he didn't have, like, time and paralyze resistance, so it just didn't work. And then, like, Phantom Train's kind of low magic defense, so he's totally in trouble. Shinru, the other super boss, usually stronger than Chaos, not anymore. How much HP did he have, for interest's sake? 20,000 HP, so even still, Shinru had more HP than he did. Similar damage values, but could be easily stun-locked out of commission. I find it interesting. Anyway, that's all for today. Like I said, I definitely appreciate the mod balance. I think it's a nice spin on a classic. I think that you could probably have a pretty good time coming up with a fun party combination of all the different characters. I've obviously never used the rogue, or really used the monk, or where is he? Somewhere down there, there's the other one, but whatever. There's 4 that I haven't really used. Like I was saying an episode or 2 ago, I think my ultimate party at the moment would be a paladin and a priest and probably a, what are they called? Archmage, the pure offensive. And then would I want a battle mage or a sage? I think the battle mage would end up with better stats and equipment. And I think something like this, we'll get into the just for fun, just for funsies, I want to show. I think something like this would be my ultimate party. Although you'd probably put the Archmage at the back. He'll be the weakest in physical defense, but he should be stronger than the Archmage. The Archmage should be better than the Sage in terms of equipment and physical stats, slightly. More HP and all that. He'll still be the weakest, but he'll have even more intellect, potentially. And then you've got Battle Mage, who was really good for our run. A Priest who could finally focus on white magic. I haven't tried the other version of the Priest, the Defender, yet. She might be a good option too, but I know for sure the Priest is a good level 8 caster, just like the Archmage is a great level 8 caster. Like, those two will really bang down the high level magic. And then the Paladin will be just fine dealing damage and also casting a good amount of white magic as well. So yeah, that's my tentative best party at the moment. Not 100% set in stone, but I feel like the Battle Mage is the one that I would rotate out. Paladin, Priest, Archmage, and then something. But it's either a Sage or a Battle Mage, probably. Probably not a Ranger, not a Fighter, not a Rogue. The Ninja wasn't very good either, sadly. So you're just kind of down to a couple different casters, or maybe I guess if the Monk or the Black Belt turned out really good. But I think the risk there is you get even worse equipment, so your resistance and defense are even worse. And that seems to be pretty important, right? Like, magic resistance was like the key to not dying for most of the game. Either it was stun lock, or paralyzed, or sleeped, or blind, or muted, or whatever. You gotta... A low resistance party is not great. And look, the Paladin has great resistances. That's why I think he's... The main thing that beats the Knight is the resistances on the Paladin. And then the mages will all get good resistances over time. But yeah, imagine if Victus had more resistances than... if Victus had more than Jade. That was the other character that was in the party. Anyway, I'm done. I had some fun. Maybe I'll look into this again in the future someday. But that's probably all for the Let's Play. And hope you guys have enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you for the next series. Have a great day.